All right, Speed Gaming folks, we've got game three. This is the winner takes all, the final game of the Super Metroid multi-category randomizer tournament for 2022. And it is Kipp, and it is azder, and it is everything randomized. Anything we had in the tournament that could be rando, it is rando. We've got full countdown, we've got random start, random area, and random boss. But I don't have random as Crazy Gamer here on my comms with me. How you doing?
I am so excited for this race. I was watching the first two races and I was like, I want everything random for the last one if it gets there. And it happened and I'm so happy for it. I'm so excited to watch what these two runners can do with these settings.
Oh yeah, for sure. And two of the greats here. So I'm sure we'll see an amazing race here. Definitely everybody get hyped for this. Make sure everybody's watching. Tell everyone, post it wherever. Um Praise the how's you want to go over a couple of the settings, what we have? Because
Oh,
it's everything rando, but it is, a little
yeah.
bit different.
Yeah, so the week 7 settings are full item randomization with full countdown, random start location, full area randomization, and ball shuffle. It is all the things that can be random in this tournament are randomized.
Yeah, and that full countdown means that while the items can be anywhere, they will be able to see how many items are in that area. So they'll know, like, should they check a lot, should they not check a lot. The random start is just crazy. I mean, we'll see what they get, but there's I don't even know all the starting positions. But the other thing I want to highlight before we get started here, and the runners will be off in just a moment, is this also means that in the final match here, with the full rando, I believe suits can be pretty much anywhere. So, criteria is usually off the table in most of these matches. Not the case here. If we get a lower Norfair start, we're going to definitely have a suit, but um, suits could be anywhere, which is also an awesome feature of this rando, and it's going to be so much fun. Who do you, I mean, it's the final game here. These settings, crazy. Who do you have your money on this one?
I think it's a coin flip, to be honest. Like, both of these
Okay.
runners are so skilled, like, and it just comes down to decision, really. Like, execution, like, they're both gonna get, like, they're both super good. So let's see where we are.
Oh, it is Criterion.
Yeah, it's the back of Gauntlet, and that is a stacked criteria.
Yeah, I think that might be the biggest number I've ever seen on one of these full randos. Not gonna
Yeah. All
lie.
right. Well, there's obviously a morph ball.
Oh, and Kick almost making a mistake right out of the gate,
I
having
mean,
to jump off that very last crumble block.
yeah, it's
Really wanting that wave beam before
mhm,
warp fall.
yep. All right.
Yeah, this is
So
a crazy. I mean, I feel like the highest number I've ever seen in an area is 6. So
yeah,
a
yeah.
7 is just really crazy. And yeah, you definitely want to clear out some criteria here as much as you can, since there's 6 items there.
Yeah, so it's not going to be like it's almost a vanilla start, but it's just shifted over a little bit. But it is going to give them access to a couple of portals earlier than they would have normally. So we'll see how they play it.
Yeah, and Red Brinstar just having one first portal. Get another check here from both of the runners. To kind of answer my own question, I when I made up the one of those challenge bracket things, I actually put Kipp to win it all. So um, my money's on Kipp, but I mean this is going to be a crazy race. The full rando. Kipp's luck was good last race. Did he use it all up? We don't know.
All right, so they're going to have to actually take the red tower because they can't get over to the other side of Criteria yet. They don't have bombs or power bombs.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, so this is an early mistake here in game three by Kipp. I think he thinks he has power bombs, but he has super missiles, which is not that's not a good start
Oh,
to game three for Kipp. He had a strong game two, but you know, That's got to be in your head early there.
Aster found Croc, but it was a 0, so he's just dipped right out.
Yeah, there's no reason to do a Croc 0. Upper Norfair has 2. That's pretty bad for Upper Norfair, but that's probably good for this seed. Definitely worth checking on Rumor 2. Oh, and Ice Beam just out in the open and Charge Beam. Okay. So, Upper Norfair, an easy clear. But to your point, only super missiles, the only ammo that they've found so far.
Yeah, they have access. Wait, do they have access? Like, what else do they have in Upper Norfair that they can get to? Nothing really,
They
right?
can get to ice, but they can't get out if they don't find bombs. And they don't have. Oh, they don't have the tanks for that. They don't have access to anything. Yeah, you're right. They got to go back.
Yeah, so they're gonna go back to Red Tower then.
Yeah. This is a very interesting start. I don't know if I've seen one quite like this. I haven't watched a ton of these, but just charge and ice right at. Oh, and Kipp doesn't seem happy about that charge beam. I think this actually, I kind of mentioned it in the last game. I think an early charge beam actually helps Kipp most times because he's a little more prone to go for ammo, but he doesn't seem to like it.
You might just be looking for actual like ammo and power
Y-
bombs at this point.
Yeah,
Like the majors don't do anything if you can't open doors.
yeah, and you see Azder already a little ahead of him, still only finding supers, which is insane. They have charge, but all the ammo available is supers.
Yeah, this might turn into a power bomb hunt, which we've seen in previous races in this tournament.
Yeah,
Can make these seeds go a long time.
yeah. Is Polar Bear Bunny in chat? That match sticks out in my mind.
Yep, that was the one I was thinking of too.
Well, it was more than an hour without power bombs, right? Or am I misremembering that?
I think that was right. Also, Astor found Turian.
Yeah, that's in this mode. That's a great find. You takes a lot off your plate there, looking for Torian and knowing that you're not going to get trapped.
And here's an interesting thing. Azur's going to go through this door, and it's a power bomb door, so no way out unless you find power bombs at this point.
Yeah, but with Torian being the dead end there, I don't know that there was anywhere else he could really go. But he does find those power bombs, and he gets to
Yep.
him first.
Mm-hmm. I was going to
So,
say it would have been a little trolly if our first power bombs were a croc.
oh, and they get two. We got Billy Mays Alpha PVs here. Oh
Sick.
wait, there's more. So Asher opening up a little bit of a lead here early, getting the power bombs first, getting to the top of Red Tower first. Um, so this is where he wants to be for sure. Kipp is going the right way though, and right behind. Probably just behind however long it takes to run up to that wall and criteria and realize you don't have any bombs.
And of course, the one major that's here is at X-ray.
Yeah, true. Because they've checked them all now. Yeah, so probably gonna have to wait on that one with no tanks and no suits and no grapple and no anything else. And that's gonna be in the back of their mind for sure because the way that Red Tower's set up, the middle portal is a dead end, so it's top of tower and bottom of tower. To get back to the X-ray, it's going to be a long way back. You're not going to be able to come in through the middle and just kind of knock it out real quick.
Mm.
So definitely something to keep in mind as this goes on. If X-ray becomes a thing.
Right, so we've got our first look at Green Brinstar, which had 0 majors in it.
Wow. Yeah.
And usually Green Brinstar is the place you want to be, because that usually has the large chunk of items, but not in
Yeah.
this seed.
So Asher just found 2 green run stars, or did he? I didn't see where the. Did he just go back into it?
He found 2 because the first one he saw
Okay.
was the top of Green Brinstar.
Okay. So he can loop if he wants, and it looks like he probably wants to at least check meme route, but or all power bombs now that he got his first pack.
Yeah, what's a missile?
Yeah. Let's check out with meme route. That is wreck ship. That is interesting.
One item, and you hope it's either in the mode or it's spooky.
Yeah. This map is shaping up to be a little weird, I feel like. You know, some back a wreck ship could be a dead end, and then if Brinstar loops around, it's like kind of hard to make that call, but I don't know. And Esther heading towards wreck ship, I don't know what you would do in there. Is there any? I mean, I guess Kraid. If
Yeah,
Kraid's there,
yeah,
I mean, you don't want to do Fantoon. You don't have any missiles.
yeah. You could, I guess, peek the boss and just see if it's great.
Yeah, this might just be a knowledge check. Meanwhile, Kipp actually finding tons of missiles in Brinstar. So making the play to clear to check a few locations in that 0, I feel like paying off a little bit because as we can see, missiles are a little bit in short supply.
Yeah, and if it is Fantoon here, Kipp is going to be rewarded when he makes the trip here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping or assuming that Kipp's not really going to check anything. Oh, wow. And Esther runs into another pack of supers.
Oops, all
That's-
supers.
Yeah. That's just insane. Already up to 30. So if it's Ridley, theoretically, he could fire all those supers before his one E-tank is gone.
Yes. Oh, can you get through the east section of Rex ship without high jump?
I think he's going to check the item because Varia tweaks. So he should. I
Oh,
think
right.
this item is available.
Yeah, let's see.
So we'll see what happens here. And it is missiles. And he.
Wow. Turning his nose up at missiles. That's a play.
I don't even know what to say about that. What else are you looking for? And Kipp actually sees Rex ship and goes straight back into Brinstar. I think he's going to be a little bit upset when he finds out that it loops around if he doesn't know already. 'Cause that puts Rex ship kind of out of the way.
I mean, even still, if he once he finds out that it loops, then it really makes the decision to just go for it easier. Because when else are you going to?
Yeah. I don't. And Astra didn't save reset or anything. Like, what could he have possibly been looking for that wasn't missile or major?
Is this Kraid?
Yeah.
It's a zero. It's a zero Kraid.
Wow. And resets Kraid. Okay, so I guess his plan was to reset all along. So he wanted to get all of the info and then just reset out of it. Kip, meanwhile, having plenty of missiles, will probably just beat Kraid since he's here. Why not? I mean, with a wreck ship 1, if you beat Kraid now, potentially you won't ever have to come back here.
Yeah, in that spot I would have beat Kraid, but I'm not racing, and there's a reason for that. So Azder
Yeah.
clearly knows what he's doing.
Yeah, this is a So weird. This is a weird start, I feel like. But I mean, this is full everything rando. This is what happens. So
Yeah, this is exactly what we asked for.
and I'm kind of wondering if Kip's planning on doing the same check, or if he's just gonna peek the boss. No, he doesn't take a save, so I guess he's planning on doing a couple of checks at least. And Asher finds the
Oh,
back of Rex ship.
oh, I feel like the seed's telling you something when you find both halves of Rex ship.
Yeah, exactly. Which that actually means that the whole red Brinstar area completely loops back on itself, right? Because both green Brinstars went to Red Tower, and then both Rick ships went to Red Tower. So
Yeah, there is a loop there. It's not like obviously there's so many portals out of Red Tower that you can go
I
other
think
places.
I thought there's only one more left, the one that came in, right? Or
Yeah,
did I miss
yeah,
one?
we know all the portals now.
Yeah. So like Red Tower is kind of a dead end in itself because of that loop, right?
Kinda, yeah. So there's
Yeah.
two that go to Green Brinstar, one to Turian, one goes to Rex Ship, the other side of Rex Ship goes to Green Brinstar, which is the other place where, yeah, all that loops, and then the rest of that is Upper Norfair and Criteria.
Yeah. So kind of extra like I feel like it's definitely good for Kip to get this out of the way because Red Tower's out of the way. I mean, I guess you have to come to Torian, so Rex ship is not that far from Torian, but um, definitely feels like getting this Rex
Yeah.
ship out of the way early is a good route. Even though it doesn't look like it, I almost think that this kind of puts Kip back in the lead.
Yeah, it may be Azur's plan to knock out Rex Ship and Kraid on the way to Turian, but it just feels like it's time neutral at worst, so it's fine.
Yeah. Either way, we're getting a lot of criteria checks from Asher, which is very smart. Out of 5 items still hanging out there, so you definitely want to try and get those. As what tends to happen in some of these full item randomizations, both of them sitting on very low E tanks, so this is very dangerous for Asher coming into Gauntlet with 1 E tank, and he's oh, he made it out. Okay. So yeah, a lot of times these full randos, you can have a little trouble finding E-tanks, and he finds that first missile.
So here's the weird thing. The start put them at the back of Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Azder doesn't have to go through. He already picked up the boat. He already picked up both items. He can just go back the front.
So why is he doing this?
He may be in for a rude awakening when he gets to the back and realizes that the save portal, that the save pod is there.
I think he just forgot. Yeah. Yeah, there's the reset. Okay, he remembered finally. Okay. He still has reset or snubbed every missile, and so is still sitting on 0 missiles, which is not good for him. But he has a ton of knowledge now, which is definitely valuable in this mode.
He also has, I mean, they both have charge, so, like, ammo's not a huge deal, but it's still weird to just skip missiles, even, like, early.
Yeah, and Kipp, looks like he's heading back to Criteria as well, right?
I'd assume so.
He's gonna check this, and then he should be on the same path. I don't think we've seen this portal yet, and it is Upper Norfair with 0 items because they already cleared out those 2 items. Wow, so where do you go from here? I mean, you gotta check more criteria, right?
Yeah,
that's really the play.
absolutely. That number 5 is staring you at the face, and you have to be like, gotta go for it.
You need to go down. You gotta go down to Old Mother Brain Tank, and um, what's Kipp doing? Does he forget where they started as well? Nope.
Yep.
So at least they both equally forgot that they started behind Gauntlet. You see a little laugh there on Kip's camera too. I like. I don't know about you, but I like that we got the cameras out for the finals.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good to get a couple of reaction shots.
yeah. When you're practicing Super Metroid, you do not practice for a lot of the things that are happening right now. You don't practice for 7 major criteria. You don't practice.
Oh,
You don't practice for the random start. It's just
yeah,
a lot of nonsense that you just muscle memory. You have to like forget. And yes, that is a fantastic gravity suit.
yeah. Gravity Suit coming in early. I think there was a prediction for that even. So there go all your points if you banked on Varia.
All right,
Hoping for
so
the
yeah, I'm a little salty because in the last 2 races I picked Varia. I'm sorry, I picked Gravity and I lost, and then I didn't do a prediction for this one because I was too busy prepping for comms on this race, so I didn't do it, and now we're just gonna let that go.
got it. And as you're continuing to pick up the majors now that he's on the right path, Kipp did get gravity as well, but then deciding to check up top of criteria first. Um, Not really sure what would have been better for him, but either way, puts down BT with the very calculated 2 missile super, right? And let's see what's up next for Ashter. Probably another major. Oh, just a missile. Think he'll keep this one?
I would assume so. Much to his chagrin, he is going to keep a missile.
Uh,
Something you don't get to see every day in randomizers is the pink door going into this room.
yeah. So just a couple of missiles right here means there's very likely something at Billy Mays. There is one location in criteria they can't check right now. Oh, well, I guess actually 2, but they can't check the climb supers or the power bombs at landing site. So, but there's X-ray and another pack of PVs. So we got that number down to 2 with a couple more checks left. And Kipp actually going back to checking portals, even with criteria still being at 4.
Yeah, this might be just routing, like while you're
Yeah.
here.
I don't know that so far, I don't know that that makes a difference because Esther hasn't really found anything game changing down here. I mean, obviously, Spring Ball is game changing, but you know, X Ray and Spring Ball together are not gonna make the end of the game any faster for him.
Right,
Oh,
so
but there's Plasma.
Plasma's
That's
a
a
good
little
one.
bit game changing, yeah. Now with 45 supers on Kip's side, I'd say Plasma is less important than it normally is, but that's still a big find.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn it down if I came across it, but it's not game breaking at this point.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, that makes Azder's rest of the game like basically no item pickup because he has the full beam combo. But um,
Yeah, we're 20 minutes in and we have full beam combo.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I guess we
um,
have to thank a 7 major criteria for that.
yeah, definitely. But Kip up here checking this spot in Meridia. I don't even can't remember the name for this one, but um, with the West Meridia 1, I don't know that I want to stay here too long. What do you think?
Huh. So Azure knows where Crate is. Um, Gravity Suit gives you Dragon, but the loadout's awful, especially with energy.
Yeah. I Yeah, this East Meridia is gonna be
Oh,
tough
oh,
for Azure.
he's got microwave, so the fight is possible, but it's don't get hit.
Yeah, yeah. Kipp runs into Upper Norfair again.
Oh, do you know where Azure came in from?
He was at the meme route, the side hopper, blue broom star side
Okay,
hopper.
okay, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Azure's gonna try and check these two normally minor locations here with a snail clip and gets a first try. Oh, decides to pick up that pack of supers. It's actually a little surprising after all the ammo skips. Oh, but gets seriously rewarded with that space jump. So I and Kipp's still checking around in West Meridian for one item. I just feel like there's so many long checks in West Meridia that, I mean, unless it's Varia, and it's Varia, okay. I guess this pays off. Yeah, and kept doing a check there because just wants to make sure that he really can't get it right now. So, what do you think about that Varia? Because if I'm Azure, I'm doing East Meridia right now. The chances of me sticking around in a West Meridia for one major are pretty small, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the route now, and
I'm
there's not
thinking,
there's not a
oh,
great way to get to West Meridia from East Meridia. Like, I mean, I
yeah,
guess you have to go through criteria because you go up um, from Blue Brain and then you go across the moat, and that gets you to West Meridia, and then you have to. You could do it, but you'd have to route it very specifically. And I don't think he's discovered that yet.
yeah. I mean, I would say at this point, Azure's like kind of in the lead, but I feel like that various suit position makes it so that he's more likely to almost last location that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
couldn't even tell you who's in the lead just because there's so much going on, and like even though Kipp is up a boss, it's a really easy boss. It's not going to be a huge deal for Azure to go get Kraid. Um, yeah, at this point it's too early.
just so you know, my scientific method is guessing. So,
Good, good, good.
or it feels like, because he's about to beat Dragon, and that takes longer than beating, the Kraid, the boss that Kipp has already beaten. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
but yeah, but I don't actually know who's in the lead, but I feel like that Varia location is a problem for Ashter. Um, it's not necessarily great for Kipp because he's gonna have to go all the way back there at some point to get it. Um, and he's still not going to the bottom of criteria. So he's leaving a lot of majors on the table that would help him to get that. So I don't know. I guess we'll see where Kipp's heading. Ashter has a very quick fight though, and does not get hit by Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah. Kipp's Dragon, unless he goes to Criteria and picks up X-Ray, his Dragon's going to be a little bit longer. So definitely goes to Azder at this point, but it's again, there's a lot that can happen.
Oh, Kipp picked up Spring Ball while I wasn't looking in criteria. That's why he hightailed it back here. Okay. So actually, Kipp's gonna have both suits here in a minute, making what is just a terrible hard spring ball jump look free.
Easy.
Yeah, I still remember when I think I saw Azure do that one time, and then I went and I tried it, and like probably 35 minutes later, I got it. Maybe 45. It was a long time.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing is that these guys make everything look easy, and then you try to do it, and it's like
Yeah,
I'm not doing buttons correctly.
yeah. The controller's backwards in my hand. I don't understand. But yeah, that's. I mean, Kipp's on a bit of back and forth, but he does have both suits now. He's great ammo, has charge, has some beams. I mean, technically, this is go mode for Kipp. There's nothing else that he needs to finish the game.
I would,
And he stumbles into Kraid's lair, which is also awesome.
yeah, I think he's just gonna boss rush at this point.
Yeah,
Just discover port, like just try to find bosses.
yeah. I mean, obviously, he wants another. Well, I don't know. Obviously, for him, he runs some crazy categories, but probably wants another E tank. But even then, like, this is pretty much go mode for Kipp. So that I mean, he's about to have another boss down. I think, even though I just said he wasn't in the lead, I think he is again. Let's see what kind of fan tuning we get here. First Doppler looked a little light to me. See if he can save it. It's some real slow patterns, though, huh?
Yep.
This particular break brought to you by Fan Tuned.
Yeah, that Doppler looked a little bit better.
Yeah. The first one was too light, though. He's got probably a missile or two in a soup. Yeah, there he goes.
3-rounder.
Yeah, so Kipp has two bosses down. And doesn't really need anything else to finish the game, so I mean, I feel like he's in a pretty good spot. I don't know if he likes his loadout with no movement items, but you know, Ashter's still checking stuff in criteria, and that's just gonna let Kipp kind of get ahead here.
The last major is at Chef Supers.
Yep, and they can't even get him. Do you think? I mean, I doubt it would be, but and especially since Azur's not heading that way. But do you think it's worth a look to see what the item is?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because like we saw Kipp peep that Mama Turtle, and it was very astute, and it's kind of working out for him. I mean, if Shaft Supers, for example, was like, I don't know. I guess he would want it to be Varia. Like if he saw Varia there, then it would be worth the peep. So, and what we know, it's not worth it. But
yeah, I would say if he passes by there, yes. But at this point, it's just a thing you keep in the back of your mind, and if you're in the area, you take a look. But otherwise, just be on the lookout for speed and hope you get there.
So Ashter actually is in West Meridia and actually is doing some of the checks that Kipp already did. So this is really good for Ashter and for our race in general, because this also means that Ashter's on the path to find that Varia suit and potentially get into go mode himself.
And just to note, Azder did pick up his first energy tank at 31 minutes.
Is it not the finals?
Sure is a finals.
How many times would you be dead with no E-tanks 30 minutes into a Metroid match? I mean...
Yes, extremely.
I've got my money on the over 10 deaths.
Yeah, that's about right.
Probably just 5 tries in Gauntlet alone for me. So Kipp back in criteria again. I think just doing a crossover because he needs to go to Norfair. Isn't there a Norfair over here?
Yes,
Yeah, down here.
the red tower elevator goes to the Croc entrance.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, he's into Norfair, and this is we've seen a couple of Norfair portals, but there are still a few left. Probably we're getting to the point. I mean, you've been tracking it better than I have, but probably we're getting to the point where one of these portals has to be Lord Norfair. I'm assuming that's why he's here. And Azder does get his Various Suit at 33 minutes. So, not quite go mode yet, but probably as near as makes no difference if you're assuming you'll run into an E-Tank or two.
Yeah, the only two portals we haven't seen yet are Single Chamber and the back of Lower Norfair, so those have to link to each other.
Okay. So, and that's actually good because the back of Lower Norfair is the better one, anyways. Probably might even find it vanilla, huh?
Oh, right, that is in fact vanilla.
Take a look. Yep, there it is. Now, this isn't exactly comfy, this rest of the game for Kipp, because he does only have 3 tanks himself. Probably hoping to run into another one.
Yeah, it's 3 tanks, but more importantly... Oh, never mind.
There it is.
I was gonna say, no movement items, no high jump boots, no space jump, no screw attack. I mean, you get a spring ball and that's nice, but
Yeah.
the utility is limited here.
Now, Norfair does have 3 items. I don't know, kind of already in go mode. I don't know how many of them you check, but I mean, I'm assuming he checks behind Ridley at least, and it looks like he's going to check Firefly, so you may run into another movement item. Let's see what happens. Oh,
Yeah,
if you
you take it. I think you take it.
if you want to call it a movement item, I always infinite bomb jumps, and it's like my main movement item.
Yeah, it just means that power bombs is no longer something you have to worry about. So I think it's a good pickup.
Oh yeah, for sure. Not something you see every day. Kipp doing one of these off-the-wall spring ball jumps or trying to do one of these spring ball jumps to get out of the Firefly here.
And right after I just got done saying that the spring ball had limited utility in Lower Norfair. Kipp just making a liar out of me.
When you get full rando, everything rando, you just get everything happening. You get spring ball jumps in Lower Norfair, you get just the craziest stuff.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. So Kipp is... We already know where Dragon is, so we know Kipp's gonna find Ridley down here. He's very well loaded out for Ridley, and if game 1 and 2 are any indication, Ridley's not gonna be long for this world. So he's really sitting in a good spot right now. Meanwhile, Azder's still having Ridley and Kraid left.
Yeah, the bosses ended up with Ridley and Dragon being vanilla and Kraid and Phantoon swapped.
Yeah. And it looks like Azder is gonna kind of follow Kipp here and head to Norfair. I think, I mean, despite the space jump, I mean, I still think, I mean, I personally think Kipp has a bit of a lead here.
Agreed.
Because Asher's kind of following along on Kipp's path, and Dragon isn't really going to take that long for Kipp to get to. There's a few rooms where Space Jump made a difference, but not, the couple of minutes that Kipp has right now.
Oh, that's
Kipp just,
good pogos right there.
yeah, didn't quite get the quality of pogos from his first two matches here, but does still take down Ridley pretty quick time. Hopefully we'll get the check here. Good to see another one of the items. See if Kipp gets lucky. Grapple. That's something you want to see right before heading to Meridia.
I guess. I mean, yeah, I really shouldn't say anything because literally nothing else. So yeah, like there's
his
no space
prospect
jump.
for his prospect for Dragon right now was double spring ball jump, so
Oh,
that kind of brings him out of.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Not that it's much better because he still has to do that high jumpless grapple escape, but at least now he has an option.
I mean, he could also just gravity jump out.
Oh yeah, I forgot they have gravity this game. My bad.
Yeah, you watch that second race, and it's like, oh, just do a suitless escape out of Dragon, as you do.
Yeah, it's just second nature, right? You just grapple jump, and then you do a couple of springboard jumps. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, just like the devs intended.
Oh man, but I think we do have quite a race going on here because Asher is out on Kipp's tail, heading down into lower Norfair. He's gonna beat a Ridley pretty soon, and Kipp really needs to book it over to East Meridia and get this Dragon done already.
And we do get the high five.
Yeah, that's something you always get in these area randos.
and here's Kipp making the play.
Yeah, do we know where this portal goes? I guess I'm not sure.
We do, yeah. It's it goes to East Meridia.
Oh, okay. So this is actually the perfect routing for him. But yeah, that acid dive did not go as smoothly as it did the last time. I'm gonna have to take it a little bit careful here, getting out of Lower Norfair.
I'm surprised he's going this way because now he has to do pillars in the other direction.
I mean, his other option is the furry legs second upper room, which he had a little bit of trouble with in the last game. So he might be having some PTSD of almost dying there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I certainly will be avoiding that room after seeing what happened to him. I never even really thought about that. He managed to pierce and freeze one of those bouncing guys without killing the side hoppers, and then it was just bad. You always see something new when you watch these.
Mm-hmm. Especially with talented runners. Otherwise, you'd have, less talented runners like me, for instance, attempt to do the good things and fail miserably.
Yep. I'm right there with you. Asher does have Ridley down, so now Asher just has to go back to wreck ship and kill Kraid, which is going to be pretty quick. And Kipp is checking. Oh, he needs supers.
He needs energy too.
Yeah. Well, this is not good for Kipp. Asher just has to head back and finish up Kraid. He really needs to be getting a move on here. But either way, I think this means we're going to have a pretty tight finish in race number 3, even with it being a full rando of everything. You couldn't ask for anything better in game 3, so Make sure you have that popcorn, and here we go.
Yeah, this is the perfect ending to one of the. Again, this is my first tournament, but this has just been a fantastic tournament throughout, and this is the perfect ending for it.
Yeah, and actually we have some problems on Kipp's side now that I take a second look at it. He did not pick up that plasma beam as expected, and he never picked up any extra supers either. So Asher's going to have the very quick 20 shot Mother Brain fight, while Kipp is going to have to supplement. I don't even know how many shots with Charge Ice Wave. Probably at least 40, I would imagine. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not very good at the math on that, but
Yeah.
see how it turns out.
So maybe someone in chat can do math for me. I'm not going to do math while calming.
Tracy's got it. It's 100 shots.
Oh, he needs 100 Charge Ice Wave shots to supplement? Or that's just the total for the fight? That's the total for the fight, right?
Might be the total, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think he's going to need, with his supers, closer to 25. Okay. So, yeah, I think that...
So Azur's going to have a better Torian and a better Mother Brain, so...
Yeah, and you see Kipp even taking the time to pick up extra supers here, because he's starting to realize, he's going to need for that Torian. But yeah, even with this amount of supers, probably at least 20. He's going to have to do 20 charge shots, which is all Azder's going to need, and then still do the supers. And he still has to get through Dragon. Not necessarily the easiest fight with what he's gone in here. Probably the quickest is going to be that fast grapple, which looks like that's what he's setting up for. And get some swoops, though. Oh, getting so many swoops. Dragon.
He's not cooperating.
Oh, my. What, 4? You can't decide a race on Dragon swoops. This is the finals. Come on. I mean, I guess the number of swoops is random, right? So Kipp is the first to have all the bosses down, as expected, but is kind of far away from Torian at the moment. And did not find anything helpful behind Dragon.
It's going to be a tight wall jump. Oh. Gets it.
Nails it. And Azder is taking a pretty decent route coming in through the back of Rick's ship. I think that's actually a little faster from where he was, so...
Yeah, his route's going to be wreck ship to Green Brain, go take the lower route to the top of Red Tower, and that's Historian.
Yep. I think Kipp has an access, past these rooms here, over by Plasma, so...
yeah.
Where does the Plasma one go, though?
So, the upper part of East Meridia goes to Blue Bryn. So his route is Blue Bryn to the normal Torian portal. Nope, that's a lie. Just kidding. Where's he going?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's this way, but I think the portals are a little muddled over here in my mind. So... Azder, though, coming in to finish off his final boss, and it's going to be a quick one, so this is getting real close, folks.
Yeah. Alright, so Kipp's route is East Meridia to Blue Bryn, and then normal Torian to Red Tower, which is the East Meridia exit, and then that's to Red Bryn Star. So yes, because he's passing through Blue Bryn, he will encounter Plasma on the route, as many people in chat have pointed out.
don't know if I yeah. I think he oh yeah, you're right. There's blue Bryn, we're gonna get plasma. Okay.
All right, so let's watch the reaction. Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah. But Astra's already done and heading into Torian, or heading back towards Torian. So from these portals, that means Asher's in the lead. The Torian's just got a lot closer because now Kipp just has to do the same Torian and has more supers, so doesn't even have to worry about anything with supers. So yeah, Space Jump's not really going to do much in Torian. This is going to be a close one. And Asher is going to be the first to enter Torian. At about 48-46. Yeah, Kipp is quite a bit behind now.
Azder hit the elevator at 48:55.
And with this kind of loadout, there's not a lot that they're gonna be different between them and Torian. Main thing is Kipp has a couple extra safety E-tanks in case Asher takes a hit, for example, but otherwise now it's going to be a very similar Torian. And Kipp does hit that Torian door here right about a minute later. Right? It's 49. Yeah.
So it's like 49:52. So 58 seconds separate our runners.
This is a close finish, but it also is a pretty textbook Torian. So something kind of disastrous would have to happen for Kipp to get back in, and at this point, I think we're looking at Asher taking the tourney here from what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's a tough baby skip with no high jump.
Having some good Metroid rooms, but Asher already passed the baby.
Pick up some time if he can get the baby skip, but again, it is tough on this loadout. Yeah, I mean more tough than
going for it.
Yeah, more tough than baby skip already is.
Yeah, and I guess while we're kind of watching this part here, let's remind everyone to follow the runners. Obviously, this race and the ones before it have been amazing, and this one's about to be have a super close finish. Maybe even less than a minute, depending on how these fights go. So definitely go ahead and follow those runners. Asher already into Mother Brain 1. Also looks like we might even have two, with a full rando, we might even have 2 sub-hour finishes here on our hands. Which is just insane. Like, everything randomized, and yet these runners are just blazing through in less than an hour.
Sometimes the seed gives you everything, like
Yeah.
7 major criteria, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do, really, but get through this one in a hurry. And Azter on the Mother Brain 2 as Kipp just doing the Zeb skip. I think we're at the point where it is a foregone conclusion. But again, it's still going to be super close. So, in this race here, what do you think made the difference? Was it routing or was it that item luck as you're running into plasma early on meme route?
I I really thought like where the items were was really what decided this, because
Items?
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, depending on which route you took, that gave you whatever items were in front of you, and then that determined the rest of your route. And with everything just right there, it really just came down to which way did you decide to go.
Yeah. And think about all those resets that Azure did too. Like, he really somehow routed this one even after those resets to be like, okay, now I know exactly where the items are gonna be or what like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
So
have to agree. Like that early plasma, I feel like really changed things, and then he ran into space jump too.
mhm.
That was a good pickup along the way. So I think the items decided this one. Kept getting to Varia when he couldn't pick it up, really set him back.
Yeah, and not that both runners obviously talented, very much. Like you need to have the skill in order to to take advantage of where the items are, right? But
Yeah.
like I'm trying to remember, did Azder start resetting missiles before or after he picked up plasma? Because I know charge was early. So
Oh,
like
that was before. Yeah,
mhm,
once he picked
yeah.
up plasma, he finally got some missiles.
Yeah, so like in that case, you get rewarded for that, for for resetting and just being on ammo even before you get plasma.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, in hindsight, the resets were the play. He got all the knowledge he needed, and he is just racing to the ship now to take that top prize and take the tourney win. And Kip does have Mother Brain down shortly after, so we're gonna have a fast finish here from him as well. Uh, Probably still looks like just maybe over a minute at this point. Or maybe not. They're very close. You got what you were asking for here, people. You got your full rando, you've got your close finish. Just an amazing race. Definitely follow everyone. Follow all the organizers, the trackers. We had to have 2 trackers. Race was so hype. Stack and D Web. Make sure you follow them. And of course, Azure landing on the ship and finishing with an official time 56 minutes and 6 seconds. He becomes the champion of the tournament. We have our champion, and now we just have our second place finisher heading it up. Will be Kipp.
You could see the relief on Azure's face here. That's like that really tells it right there.
Yeah. Kipp does finish with the official time less than a minute later, landing on the ship at 56:58, becoming the second place finisher and second place in the tournament overall. But Asher, your champion tonight and of the whole tournament, GG.
GG's to our runners. That was amazing.
What a finish. And we are joined by the champion, Azder. Welcome to the chat, or welcome to the comms booth, and congratulations on that win.
Hi, thank you so much, everyone. My God.
Any initial reactions? I guess 10 minutes late reactions at this point, but
honestly, I didn't think I was gonna win either of the games that I won.
We are also joined by Kipp. GG's Kipp.
Hey guys, GG Astor. That was a really fun set, man.
GG.
Any initial reactions on your side, Kipp?
Well, I'm actually really, not only from an organizer perspective, but also from just a competitive point of view, I'm really happy that we went to 3 games. Astor and I had joked a little bit about how I think literally every series that we've ever had has been 2-0 one way or the other. I gotta tell y'all, man, I did not think that game 3 was happening. Once I gambled on Skip and Croc in game 2 and whiffed on Gravity, I thought for sure that it was over.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, so, but anyway, this game, I'm really happy it was close. I'm not surprised that it was close. Definitely some things that I could have done better. I think to run a little bit faster of a time. Obviously, I think he's in the same situation. But really fun, man. Like really fun set.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it was pretty exhilarating. It always gets more stressful and stressful as you get deeper in and you start facing really good players. Especially since you kind of have to really know what you're doing, really tweak your strategy, be ready for anything. But most opponents really, you have to take every opponent seriously. But once you get deep in the tournament, you see that person's track record. I know Kipp was making note of how many wins the opponents had racked up along the way, like Nefty and Simo getting a really impressive win count when they were in semis.
Yeah, for sure. There were a lot of play. Well, first of all, I mean, I've been kind of saying this all tournament long. I feel like these settings, I'm not going to say completely level the playing field. I mean, I think that there's still a lot that goes into it that if you've been playing Randomizer for a while, then, it'll translate really well. But there's a whole kind of different set of skills that kind of go into being really good at all these different combinations of settings. So I feel like the playoff, getting into the playoff and the playoff was more wide open this time than it's ever been. But at the same time, once you get into a best 2 out of 3, that's a completely different monster than playing a different person every week and stuff like that. So, I was really, I had no idea how good I would do. I felt confident that I could compete with anybody. So I'm really happy to make it, that I made it to the finals again. And I'm also not surprised that Azure made it this far. He's consistently been one of the best players for the last several years. The only thing I'm slightly disappointed at is this would have been, if I'd have won this last race, it would have been my 4th Randomizer tournament championship in a row. So to be 1 win away in less than a minute, and with the way this last seed kind of went, it's a little bit of a bummer. But overall, really excellent tournament experience, and I had a blast watching. I'm kind of bummed that it's over because I really enjoyed watching all the races as well as competing.
Yeah, this tournament has been great from start to finish, and just speaking personally as somebody who's this is my first SM tournament experience, this has been a blast every week, and it's been great watching other races and doing commentary and tracking for other races, and just being a part of this has just been a great experience.
Yeah, it's been really I've had a difficult last few months, so I'm really thankful for all the people that were supporting me on my journey through this journey. SM Rando has always been kind of my thing. I just I just got the feeling these last couple of days when I was really practicing hard and really studying that I just loved this game and the intricacies in it so much. And I've lost quite a lot of finals matches actually. This is my 13th finals that I've been in, and I've won 2, now 3 with this one. And I just feel like when I get to finals, normally I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm really happy to be here. Whatever happens, happens. I felt like, I was more okay with losing in finals, and that affected some of my decision making. Like I lost, like Kipp was saying, he lost by a minute. That doesn't feel super great. I lost by around a minute in League Season 3 finals in Game 5, and it felt very similar. And it was losing the title from Season 2 as well. So I just really had to rethink my approach and like just how sharp I was going to be going into the game, and what kind of risks I was prepared to take and not take and such. It was really interesting experience. I don't know. That was a lot of thought jumble, but it's just this tournament's been going on for 3 months, and it occupies like so much. But when you have to keep all these modes together, it occupies like so much of your thinking time during the day. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. So in line with all the prep that you did any of that prep involve having to do a 7 major criteria with a criteria start?
I think so, yes, actually. I think I did do one of those.
Yeah, because when we saw that, we were just like, wow, that is a stacked criteria. And
yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen that. I think I've seen 5 before, but I've never seen more than that. So when I saw 7 and we were there, I was like, what on earth is this seed?
Yeah, that really set the tone for it.
I was doing Gauntlet too, because I was just like, I've still got 5 majors left, and I checked like half of the, I only had Blue Bryn left after this basically. And I was just like, there's got to be something back here. And then when I was in the back, I remembered I started there, so I got the 2 things there already. Mm-hmm. So I felt dumb.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was
headed for back at Gauntlet at one point, and then realized that you were already there.
Yeah, I'm sure that was like a big chat was just like waiting for us to realize it. Kind of moment.
Yeah, that kind of did happen.
So how did you get Very in this last seed? Like, what did you springball jump, or did you already have a space jump by the time you got there?
Where was Very again?
It was at Mama Turtle.
I had space jump already.
Okay, so who got Very to Very first between us?
You got there first, but you couldn't get it.
So did he get it in between the time that I went and got springball and went back?
No, you still got it first, but then he got it like right after you, I think.
Okay, where was space jump in this seed?
Space jump was Aqueduct.
Right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, where was it?
Aqueduct.
It was Aqueduct. I snail clicked to it.
Okay, and I'm going to assume that since everybody's kind of been talking about how differently we played this seed, I'm going to assume that maybe you got it in the first half of the seed, maybe?
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, well, like, I spent the first half of the seed kind of not going back to criteria and checking out Green Bryn and getting sucked into the wreck ship loop, and then it reset out of crate because I was just like, it's a far walk and this isn't going to get me anything.
Okay, yeah, that makes me I think that's really funny and sort of fitting because Azder and I have joked about this, but it's true. I can't think of a single race that he's beaten me. We've raced a bunch of times, and every single time he has movement items that I don't have. Like, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, every single time he gets the movement items that I don't have. And so literally in this seed, I basically had to run like low percent other than having spring ball in a few key areas. And the whole time I was thinking, oh my God, like I bet he's got speed or space or something. And like, that's going to be the difference. And so I bet that helped a lot, but it's kind of ironic because technically space is what won me my game 2 versus SEMO. So, it kind of swings both ways. But man, that was really fun. I'm looking forward to watching that back. In some ways, I kind of wish, even though it would take forever, I kind of wish we could do like a 7-game series and play all the modes. Even though I think he would be probably slightly favored against me because I think he's going to be a little bit stronger on the countdown. I think he's got a little bit more experience in the long term on full. But yeah, man, that was really, really, really fun. Explain to me what happened in game 2 because I'm confused about like why there was such a differential in the finish times.
I made a play to like I was pretty sure that like either first missile or first super was in Gauntlet, and I was just like, I'm gonna make a play that I'm gonna find supers in the minor location and not get screwed, and I got extremely screwed, and then just like I went back to criteria to finally get that Gauntlet super. I was just hoping that like the area transitions on the other side would kind of bail me out and make it not a huge deal, but the other side, like right of landing site, was it was like Turian and back of wreck ship that I didn't have any movement items to do. So it's just like I had to get this super, and then just like sadly walk all the way back to wherever, I don't remember. But I was just like, I am way behind at this point. So like, I know Croc is real hot in week 6. I noticed that watching a lot of the races, and I was like, Croc really often has a suit, but there were a couple seeds they played where it didn't, and I was just like, I need to like make the play that like I went to upper Norfair and I got high jump, and I'm just like, okay, that's my ticket to wreck ship. I'm just gonna go back to wreck ship and hope that all the stuff is there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And all the early, I feel like all the early E tanks in that second seed kind of baited you into hell runs because you were in the same room as Kipp hell running while he had Varia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I missed Varia because it was at Alpha PBs, and I was just like, I didn't want to go up there because I was just like, okay, it's 2 Meridia transitions and a Chozo, and I'm behind, and I'm just gonna skip the Chozo. It's a very like useless area if I assume that Chozo's nothing, and I just hope I gain some time back off that, and then I also hope that I gain some time back off of not searching any of the Norfair transitions because I already decided I was gonna skip Croc. So that was.
I just realized I'm really happy that we got these exact 3 games because we got 1 major minor, 1 Chozo, and 1 full countdown. So I feel like that's a really good representation of the overall tournament.
Yeah, but I also lost our own picks, and I beat you on my worst mode.
Dude, I legitimately, for real, when this tournament started, I when I looked at the different things that we had put together, I was like, okay. Like, I'm probably going to struggle in some of these, and obviously anybody can win, in any race. But week 5 is probably my strongest one. I feel really confident about major, minor, and, full area. And then with the bosses being vanilla, there's some element of randomness that kind of gets taken out of the pool. So I was like, this will be great. I lost week 5 during the Swiss. I lost it when I picked it in round 1. And then I lost it today. The only time I won was in the semis. I think Simo picked it and I won, but I went 1-3 in what I thought was my best set of settings, but I guess not.
Dude, I really think week 5 is just a trash heat because, like you say, it's like it's major minor, so it's not or like it's not boss rando, so it takes away that element of randomness. But it just like it makes wherever Cradler is attached to, it just makes it so powerful. I actually to prep, I went back and ran the seats that you guys played in semis or in them blind, and I went back to there's that one where you had like a really early crade that you couldn't do with no PBs, and it was like you had to get PBs in Greenbryn to backtrack all the way to where well, you got PBs in Greenbryn, which is far away from where Crade was, and then you didn't go back to it. I went back to it right away, and I got speed into Varia Waterway, and then when I watched back that game that you guys both played and neither of you got it, I was just like, okay, yeah, Crade is just like a huge wild card in this. It just
sorry.
So many things that can flip week 5. It's just I feel like it's a lot more random than people give it credit for.
Yeah, it's definitely all over the place. Go ahead, Sire.
Oh, I just wanted to know, since we're kind of talking about it, you talked about your major minor, that first pick, azder. We were kind of, I feel like Comms was a little surprised about your pick. Do you want to take us through that for the chosen?
Oh, my pick of week 6. I felt really good about. Oh, so I ran the week 6 that Kipp and Sivo ran as well, and I felt really good about how I ran that compared to them as well. And I just liked the mode. I had fun with some of the reads that I tried to do in those seeds, like my week 6 against Bressingham was really fun, even though I died twice in Lower Norfair. I felt, other than the deaths, I routed that really well. There's like Varia basically had to be at Shack Tool, and it was like across the world for me, so I knew it was the right play to go do Lower Norfair Seedless, that kind of thing. So yeah, I thought it'd be a good one to run. I also know Kipp practiced that one a lot, but I still felt like, like even if it's not the most optimal pick for me, I'm not entirely sure what is. I think Chozo's generally good for me, and I have fun playing it, so let's just go with that.
Yeah, I feel similarly in terms of I don't know. It's strange. I never for sure knew which picks would be the best for me, and I think I went 1 and 3 in the entire playoff on my picks, and I almost lost the one that I won. But I also don't think it's because I made bad picks. Like, sometimes it just works out that way. But yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Well, no, yeah, I agree with that, and definitely like that mode, that chosen mode for sure. It was just, I think we all thought that you were going to go with a full countdown, so that's why I was curious to hear what was going on there. But then we got a full countdown anyway, so it all worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad that we ended on week 7, even though I feel like that's probably my potentially weakest of the 7. And I think, I played okay in this one, relatively speaking, but there were definitely some things that I could have handled much, much better. And so, in a way, I feel like me barely losing in game 7 is kind of like probably the most likely scenario to happen. So I feel like we kind of got what we were supposed to get. But before we bring in some of the other organizers, just to kind of wrap up the tournament, azder, I'll turn it back over to you, and you can kind of have the floor to close out with whatever you want with your championship.
All right. Well, it might be your weakest out of the 7, but it's also the 7th out of the weeks. Yeah. Shout outs to a lot of the people who've been watching all my races and cheering me on while I'm preparing and stuff. Tracy's a big one. A little organizer bias, but I was against another organizer, so it's probably fine. Dark Gastful, Cheapy Sword, Baja Blood, Aaron Explosives, Tataka A0, Lysandrius, MST Owl, Dio. A lot of you guys are great. And thanks to the organizers and everyone for making this exciting. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably it. Yeah, GG's again. I always also want to say that, like, obviously I would have been disappointed if I'd lost, but I try not to go into it with the feeling that it should, because like this was a minute difference, a minute either way, and I feel like it shouldn't super significantly change how I feel about the result if it's just like plus 1 minute or minus 1 minute. The outcome ends up being different. So I'm trying to think of what I wanted to say with that, but yeah, I just respect every opponent that I face, and I think that, like, even though I want to win, I also respect they want to win, and whatever advantages they can get out of me on their end, like that's what I'm trying to do in my races. So it's like totally fair for them to have their shot at that too, and it just worked out my way this time, and I'm happy that it did. But I still would have been really happy with this tourney run regardless. So thank you.
Well, I'll close my part in terms of being a competitor before we get into the organizer part by saying, yeah, man, I agree. GG, you totally deserve it. You played exceptionally well. I think not only today, but throughout the entire playoff. For me, everything you just said about how you feel about the result, I completely agree because, everybody wants to win, right? Like, we're not going to sit here and pretend like winning is exactly the same as losing. But with that said, the most fun for me is not really the win. It's the time in between the lines. Like, I have more fun in tournaments during the races than any other time. Like, whether I end up winning or losing, just because there's a certain, I don't know, energy that you get knowing that you're competing against somebody, dealing with the same set of problems, et cetera, et cetera. So as far as all that goes, I am very, very happy with the overall result of this tournament. I had a blast from start to finish. And I feel like I got a lot better as a randomizer player. So I'm really grateful that we had a lot of people sign up to be in it. And I'm really happy that I made it this far and got, to play in the finals against Azure. So big, fun tournament for me. I look forward to the next one. I think for me, the next one, I'm going to try to attempt to attend SG Live 2022, which will be in person. We'll announce some updates to that tournament here shortly, probably in the next couple days. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. And I think at the end of October, there'll be some people live, even some people from this tournament and from these playoffs that'll be there. So thanks again, Asher. You're a very worthy and deserving champion. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, I'll close there and we'll bring in Tracy and any other organizer that wants to step in.
Yeah, and Kipp, as far as closing out this match too, I mean, I didn't say it during the match, but like sometimes when I'm watching Asher play, it feels like you're watching that scene in The Matrix and you just see ones and zeros and he does something and he just like solves it. And it's like, how many missiles are you going to reset at? Like, I would never do that. And then, he has no missiles, no E-tanks. He resets every time he sees one, and he still wins the seed, like just from seeing through the Matrix. So it was a well played series. Azure, GG. Sorry,
Thank you very much.
All right, so Tracy. I think Tracy's here. I'm not sure who else is here from the organizer crew. Oh, before we get the final sort of wrap up of the whole tournament, I apologize. I should have already said Sire, Craze Gamer, D-Web, Stack, and I think Vincent and maybe Count Cranberry from earlier. I think we're on some comms. And if I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. But thank y'all so much for commentary in this match in particular. We'll thank everybody for the whole tournament in a minute, but definitely appreciate you guys dedicating several hours. This has ended up being like 4.5 hours or something. Thank you for dedicating a lot of your time to do that for us. The restreams are definitely the coolest part about this, in my opinion. So thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Kipp.
I'm sorry. There's one thing I forgot to say. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
So I wore this shirt for this match in particular because I think either the last SG Live or the one before when I was on cam, Kipp complimented me on this shirt.
Good reason. It's a good reason to wear the shirt.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention, but it's a cool shirt. Yeah, man. Good job.
Sorry. You can go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Tracy.
Yo, okay, so first of all, Azure, big congratulations for winning this one. It's your second, well, the other one was League, but League tournament win. Kipp, congratulations on second place. I think you two know this, but of all the people I've met in this community, you two are probably my best friends. So really cool.
Thanks, Tracy.
Each other. Really cool that one of you had to win. Really sucks that one of you had to lose. But that's the way it goes. So all of that. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we just go into organizer stuff, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure before Azure took off that he got the congratulations. You're going to be here regardless. Big thanks to the crew today. We had a bit of a tag team, which honestly I kind of like. I like spreading it out. So Crazy Gamer, sorry, you did an excellent job. Vincent and Count Cranberry before you. For tracking, we don't typically have 2 trackers, but we had 4 people sign up for this match, between this match and the bronze match. And I just say, you know what, they're all good. Let's just sign them both. They can split it. They can each do one. Soon Stack and Devo. I think they end up maybe doing one of each, especially when it got to the point where, hey, it's week 7 mode, so maybe it's a little easier to just track one person. Shout outs to Beep to the Boop, the Hockey Tower, Zeb, and Jester Zooks for the bronze medal match. Also excellent people, really happy. And Beep to the Boop in particular for stepping in, having some IRL stuff going on. Hockey, always, one of my favorites. So shout out the other organizers, Balthazar, Eddie, Maniacal, MM2 Nest, Cartridge, Diddy Kong, and this other person in this place. Oh, remember way back, you and I, we talked for like a couple hours trying to come up with what 7 modes, and do we do 6? Do we do 7? We've been working together on tournaments and SGL for the last 2-3 years, and I couldn't have a better organizing partner.
Thank you, Tracy. I could say the same about you. One thing that I think, sorry to get on my organizer high horse for just a second, but it's mostly a compliment to Tracy and especially the other organizers. But I really don't think everybody understands how much time, effort, and work goes into these things, not only on the front end, like hours and hours and hours on the front end, and then throughout the tournament, responding to feedback, trying to set up the best things possible, dealing with overall a bunch of different things. So this was, I think, a really, really great tournament in terms of I was super happy that the community came out and supported it. And a bunch of people who maybe had not played some of these modes before were willing to get in and give it a shot. And I think that it made for a really, really fun experience. And I think everybody got a lot better along the way. So Tracy is one of the people that works a ton behind the scenes that people don't see. So I will echo what you said, Tracy, and I appreciate your efforts.
Yeah, we got a lot of good new people. Not just on playing the game, got new people playing. I'm going to shout out a few people in particular that I want to say Vincent has done commentary maybe in the Hundo tournament, but he's new I think to the rando scene this year. Count Cranberry, you Crazy Gamer. We've had some, and I know I'm forgetting people because unfortunately I'm at I'm actually doing this from a hotel room at Midwest Speed Fest.
Oh, nice.
Part of the convention. So shout outs to the crew here. We were watch partying on the TV here, connecting with the HDMI cable. So shout outs to all those guys. But yeah, the new people we've gotten, and a ton of new trackers too on comms and tracking. Yeah, I feel pretty confident for the next tournaments. But yeah, back to the organizing. One of the things you said to me on that call is you said to me, I want to make sure that you're not doing all the work this time. You wanted to make sure, you specifically said that you wanted to make sure that it wasn't me and you, and we wanted to make sure it got spread out more. And I think that it worked out really well. This was probably went from the last tournament we did where I felt like I did too much, and to this one I feel like I did just the right amount.
I agree, Tracy, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I will say this. That was, and we made this pretty clear, I think, to everybody who participated. Our goal was not only to put together a really robust randomizer tournament that kind of pushed the community to get better at a lot of different things, but we also wanted to make this tournament, we wanted to sort of shift how future tournaments will be organized in terms of, letting the players have more responsibility and setting certain things up, like us setting the stage for everything and then letting them kind of take it from there, so that we don't have to be present for every tiny detail and everything. Because just to be quite frank with you, in the past, some of the organizers were just putting in an unbelievable amount of time, having to show up and manage race rooms and stuff like that. So I am really happy with all the updates that we made. I think that our community responded really positively. And it ended up being really good. So I think everybody won here.
Yeah, it worked out really good. A couple other people I do want to shout out. Sinak, who, if without his bot, Sahabot, some of you might be cursing Sahabot for certain seeds, but I remember back in the old SRL days, pre-Sahabot, and we were doing league races, and I'd have to take a seed, roll it, put it in Discord, put a link to the Discord, and hope that I rolled the right settings, because every time I did it, I was worried that the settings would be wrong. And, like if I rolled boss order, we'd have no random bosses or something, and I would have made a mistake. And just that all gets taken out with Sahabot. And huge shout outs to Adirondack Rick. Those of you on the SpeedGaming side, you will know him. But Rick, the amount of work that he puts in order to get the scheduling done is incredible. And he and I work together to make sure that restreams happen. He was always happy to add restreams at the last second. Gave me permission to occasionally assign channels, because I refused to do that without permission. But what he would tell me, okay, this is the channels things will go on if crew happens, because we went a little backwards this year. We said, okay, if we get crew, then we'll put it on restream instead of getting a restream channel and then searching for crew. And I think that worked out a lot better. So huge shout outs to Rick. SpeedGaming just doesn't run without him. So.
Yeah, let me jump in real quick, Tracy, because while we're still talking about people and organizers, every organizer worked really hard. We even had everybody like on a multi-hour call when we first got everything kind of situated at the beginning. But in particular, I want to give a few quick shout outs. Obviously, we've already talked about me and Tracy's role, but Beltasar, I really want to give a special thanks to him. He's the owner of the not only the SRL Discord, as well as this tournament Discord, but Belth has been, not only for this tournament, he's been a really steadfast leader, I think, in our community for a really long time. And so I just want to publicly say thank you to him. He's been very, very easy to work with. Every time I have an idea and I want to talk to him about it, he's open to talking to me, and he does a really, really good job. Maniacal is a good buddy of mine. He's like our math wizard and figures out all kinds of things. And I really like having him around too, because one thing about being an organizer that people don't necessarily see the behind the scenes is like, even though like I was the one who sort of front loaded this idea for this tournament, once we get into the actual tournaments, it's a total team effort and nobody gets to trump anybody else. And there were a bunch of times where Maniacal like stepped in and like gave some really good feedback, I think, that was kind of counter to maybe what we were thinking about prior, and it caused us to change some things. So I really appreciate not only his work, but like the dynamic that we have, to be like totally honest with everybody. And then also Mega Man 2 in particular came on. He's a new organizer this year, and he did a ton of work. Like he did a bunch of stuff, not only in terms of giving us good ideas, but also like making spreadsheets and all kinds of stuff. So everybody really pitched in, and I think if you look, across the tournament, sure, there might be things in the future that we could adjust, but at the same time, I think overall a lot of people had a really, really good time. So ultimately, I think I'm probably more proud of that than even just my personal competitive performance in the tournament. So yeah, it was really, really good, and I'm curious to see what's happening in the future. Tracy, just out of curiosity, are you going to announce anything about Rando League tonight?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I absolutely wanted to come on. Yeah, so we have some plan. Our official plan is to start the week after AGDQ. If anybody actually knows the week that AGDQ is happening, let us know. Because I looked and I couldn't find it. But I mean, they usually run in January, and we figure we'll go start a week after that. Yeah, we're tentatively thinking about trying to get 32 teams. Don't know how that's going to work out. I know when Link to the Past did their second season as a team event, they exploded, but I don't know that that's going to happen with us. We'll see. So tentative plans on numbers. Format will be pretty similar, 7 weeks. We don't know what the modes are going to be yet, other than we will have Dash back in there, because got to have something that we want to spread it out. So we'll have Dash back in there. We'll have a couple of co-ops if we can get, if Total gets his spoiler log going, we might do a pilot spoiler setup. As far as co-op modes, any of you out there, if you want to test spoiler modes, not spoiler, co-op modes, you want to test co-op modes, like you and a buddy go play a seed as a co-op, and let us know, because we're going to be looking for some co-op modes, because the one thing we're not doing is route rando again, because I am not vetting 15 seeds again, because that was a lot of work. But yeah, that's coming up for sure. So look for some more definite dates. Probably around November, I would say, because we'll start week right after AGDQ, and we'll in December we'll have our registration, have like a 2-week registration, 2 weeks off, and then a start. Really excited about the next league. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I really thought the team aspect worked really well, and hopefully the 1v1s can stick to tournaments. We can do more of those.
Well, I think I want to close with this. For anybody out there who watched this tournament that enjoyed watching it, that has interest in Super Metroid, but maybe either has only played a little bit or maybe has never done rando before, I highly encourage you to join us. Join the Discord, start talking to people, start learning stuff, start running seeds, join some races. Like, I'm telling you, the Super Metroid community overall, not only the rando scene, but also just the speedrunning community at large. I say this every time, and I totally, with all my heart believe it. It's a very special group of people. I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a more supportive group of people for a game that's as fun and as competitive and as big as this one is on the speed gaming or on the speedrunning scene. So please come join us. Even if you're not super experienced at first and don't run fast times, that's okay. There's a lot of people in this tournament who, in the last year and a half, 2 years, have gone from total beginners to like play in the playoffs, competitive for the championship. So really want to encourage everybody to participate. Thanks again to every runner that was in this tournament. I had a blast, and looking forward to seeing you guys for Speed Gaming Live 2022. So yeah. I'll close there. Tracy, anybody else? You guys can add whatever you like.
Yeah, not much else I want to add. But you mentioning about new players, I want to make sure I shout out Nefty and Simo, our 3rd and 4th place winners for this tournament. By the way, that does mean something, because reminder, this is a cash tournament, so you all getting a little bit of money. So that's pretty cool. But Nevdi in particular, I had completely forgotten about this, but he and I had a conversation, and I want to say it might have even been in your stream, but I'm not sure, where I remember the conversation. I had forgotten it was Nevdi. I encouraged him to join League Season 1, and I heard him credit me with that at one point. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So, he and I were about the same level of skill in League Season 1. He and I are no longer about the same level of skill anymore, because he's worked really hard and gotten really good. I've gotten better, but I'm not as good as Nevdi by any stretch. So definitely shout outs to him. And of course, again, shout outs to Simo and all the people that made those are really tight. We're some really good people that didn't make it into brackets. But yeah, I think that's all I have. Oh yeah. I will also be at SG Live. I may or may not compete. If I do, I'll probably lose first round, but have fun doing it. So looking forward to seeing Kipp again, and hopefully meeting some other new people. Some of the people I've seen that are going to be coming, pretty darn cool people.
And with that, we have the end of the 2022 multi-category randomizer tournament. Gone too soon, we hardly knew you, but you have your champion Azder, and I definitely just echo everyone, or from organizers to runners to trackers to comms, everybody. It was an amazing tournament. Definitely, appreciate everyone, and come back next year. Sounds like it's going to be a blast. Hope to join up next year as well. But for now, you have your champion. Go raid his Twitch, give him all the subs and follows, and We are off. Crazy, you want to take us with the traditional line?
Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed this day of racing. Hope you enjoyed this tournament, and we will see you next mission.